Ah, there he is. Man. Yeah, I think you're looking how we're all feeling, right?
Here's the thing. Um, Yesterday, there's so many words for that game. You could talk about the fact that the Raiders offense couldn't get past the 50-yard line until the end of the game. I know a lot of people were saying, "Well, Stidham did it." Yeah, Stidham did it against backups in garbage time.
Hmm. They pulled everybody
Um,
up.
yeah, they pulled all the starters. I think that we can talk about the play. People want to put it all on one person, put it on Derek Carr. Look, Derek Carr looked bad. Josh Jacobs looked bad. Tay looked bad. Hunter Renfrow looked bad. The offensive line looked bad. Josh McDaniels looked horrible. Defensively, everybody was bad. I mean, there was nobody on that team that played well yesterday.
Mm-mm.
And
No.
I I said it half-heartedly joking in a video, but kind of not joking. Like it seemed like a lot of those guys were out on Bourbon Street partying the night before,
Yep.
and just people. I mean, players just looked disinterested.
Hmm.
Players looked like they were gassed. They looked like they were not ready to play, and that ultimately comes down to preparation. And I look at Josh McDaniels for that because you have to prepare to play the games. Like, look, we can talk about this. Look, they were home for 3 weeks, so you play a Monday night in Arrowhead. You got all week back in Vegas. You have a bye week. You're in Vegas all week. You're all week at home because you play the Texans. Then you go to New
Hmm.
Orleans. Did they go to New Orleans too early or too late? Maybe. You have to prepare for these games. That's one thing at least I will say about John Gruden is messed up as he was, he did prepare them for these early games. He'd have them
Hmm.
up at 6 a.m. practicing. He'd have them out there early to practice for these early games. When you're playing these early games, especially after a long stretch of playing home games, you need to be prepared to play on the road. And I kind of looked at this as a trap game. The Raiders
Yeah.
got their confidence up after the Texans game, and they rolled into this one thinking it was going to be an easy one. Look, you have Dennis Allen, who he wants to make an example of this team. He got fired in the most disrespectful fashion by Mark Davis, and against his quarterback that was drafted when he was a coach.
Hmm.
He's trying to be as disrespectful as possible, and guess what? He came out with the last laugh.
Oh yeah. No, there's no question about it. Like you said, as messed up as Gruden was, as in terms of all the other off the field shit, he did have travel plans down. Like
Yeah,
he had them ready to play on the road, and this is that just did not. I said it yesterday. I think that team stayed on the tarmac in Vegas. I don't think they even made the flight. It
yeah,
was just no. They just pulled a bunch of people off the street that happened to be wearing Raider jerseys, threw them in there. Man, it looked bad, and there's no reason that any pro level team should be looking like that. And
no,
I did some digging, and we're now the third team to get skunked this season. It was the Colts and who did I? Oh shoot! I
the
just saw it.
Lions.
Colts, the Lions, and now we're the third.
Yeah,
So no, I agree, Mike. They're pros. They have to play. It doesn't matter when or where. No, they
yeah,
have to. The problem is they didn't. They didn't travel.
yeah.
So
We
it's
can, we can look. We I've seen obviously that it's great seeing the overreactions that season's done, this and that. Hey, see, look, here's the crazy thing: season's not done. It feels like
no.
it's done. 2-5 feels like it's done. It's a huge difference from last year where we were 5-2. But you remember last year was like you go on this long losing streak.
Hmm.
I'd rather have the losing streak early in the season and get it over with, and then hopefully you win some games, you string it together.
Hmm.
But these guys need to figure it out, and they need to figure it out quickly
Fast.
because season's not done. But if they lose on Sunday, the season's done.
Yeah. You might as well start breaking out the mock drafts and stuff if they lose
Yeah,
this coming Sunday. Because it's it's Trevor Lawrence for one. Dude can I don't think the dude can motivate anybody for anything. Like I watched one of his tunnel talks and it was like putting me to sleep. But I mean I don't think talking right now right here you got this guy Soy and you're in. Okay, so now what's the solution? Do we fire people or continue and kiss the season goodbye? I don't think. I mean, you start firing guys. What are you left with? You don't
Right.
have anything at that point. It's like all the reactions that I saw yesterday. Blow it up, trade everyone, fire the staff. It's like, okay, so now you're playing with a bunch of third string scrubs, and you're literally going to lose out. Which to
This
some
is
people I'm sure sounds appealing,
right.
but not to me.
It's funny how many people become armchair GMs and want to just blow everything up. Oh, trade Waller, trade Adams, trade Renfro, trade Carr. Okay, well, first and foremost, you're not going to trade guys that you just gave contracts to. You're not going to
Mm-hmm.
trade guys that you just got paid. You're not going to trade guys that are cornerstones of the team. Now,
Yeah.
what needs to happen is Josh McDaniels needs to look at this team and say, "Look, this is what I've got." Stop. I saw a great tweet that um, said Nick Sirianni in Philadelphia has built his offense around the players that he has. Josh McDaniels is trying to build or is trying to fit players into his offense, and that's
Mm-hmm.
exactly what's happening. We've got playmakers. We've
Mm-hmm.
got guys on this team that are better than many other teams. What's happening is that they need to fit the offense around these guys.
Mm-hmm.
Tailor this offense. Get Devontae the ball. Get Waller involved. Whenever Waller's healthy, I know that everybody's worried about Waller and trade Waller because he has been up. Look, you can't tell when an injury is going to happen.
Yeah.
Yes, I know everybody gets mad because he just got paid and he's hurt. Well, guess what? You can't tell when an injury is going to happen.
And
It's
dude,
not like you
hammies
said,
are horrible too. Hamstrings are horrible.
yeah, exactly. And it's not like you can say, oh well, shit, let me I just got paid. Oh shit, my hammy went up. Nobody wants to do that.
Yeah.
Any
No, I
competitor
mean,
wants to do that.
I mean, I can say I pulled my calf the other day, and holy crap, like,
Yeah,
dude, it was so bad. Yeah, so I can only imagine a hamstring, and then you're pulling as much height and weight as Waller has to him. You're trying to pull that on a hamstring that's not 100%. You increase risk for injury, and he's going to snap it, and then he's going to be done for the rest of the season. So it's like, do you just take the extra couple games, get him 100%, and then bring him back? And the thing is, everyone's acting like Waller's the one that's deciding not to play.
right.
It's the team doctor. They make the final call. So I don't know. Like you said, armchair GMs are kind of driving me up the wall.
Yeah, it is what it is. But I think that some of the things that you look at is play calling has to be better. Okay, I
Mm-hmm.
will say that I think play calling has to be better. That end around for Tate on 3-2 when we have Josh Jacobs makes no sense. I think a lot of the play
Davenport straight
calling,
beard him.
yeah,
God.
I think that you know understanding the fact that the offensive line is not that good and trying to work around that and trying to build around that. That's something they need to do.
Yeah.
Bring in somebody to chip, bring in somebody to pick up that extra guy. I don't know why Illuminor is still starting. Thayer Munford has been playing significantly better.
Mm-hmm.
I think the experiment is over.
Yeah.
I think Illuminor plays better at guard anyways.
Mm-hmm.
But want to see Thayer Munford more in there at tackle. I'd like to see the Raiders make a move. Everybody says Raiders should be sellers. I think the Raiders should be buyers.
They
If they
need play.
want to salvage this season, yeah, if they want to salvage the season, then you be buyers and you go out there
Mm-hmm.
and you try to get yourself an offensive tackle. You try to get yourself a defensive tackle. Nate Hobbs is back in 2 weeks. That's great because Anthony Everett's been getting his ass kicked.
That
Um,
worked.
so those are the things that we look at, and those are the things. If you're going to sell somebody, you sell, one of those 2019 picks. You
Mm-hmm.
sell one of those guys that were, either the earlier pick or the later pick, not that guy that was right there in the middle. So what I'm getting at without
I
calling
get
out
you.
names. You know, um, that fourth overall guy. We could
Mm-hmm.
probably get a seventh rounder for him, but
Yeah.
you
Well,
know,
I think Raider Room here has got a really good point. Go get Conklin. I think Jack Conklin on the right hand side would do
yeah,
amazing things. Because I was watching yesterday, and that right side may as well have just been standing still. I can't tell you how many times I saw either Davenport or oh shoot, I lost his name.
Jordan.
Yeah, Cam Jordan just come flying off that right side. And I'm like, dude, there's no way he's getting away from those guys. And then he steps
Yeah,
up into the pocket, and then you've got their nose tackle or their defensive tackles rushing in from the center. So it's like there was nowhere for him to go. Now, that's not just me making excuses for Carr because I'm a Carr
no,
fan. But if you watch the way that the pocket collapses, it's always collapsing in from the right side, which pushes him to the left. He steps up and wham. It's
right,
just not. I know everyone says he needs to be more mobile or anything like that, but when you're trying to see a guy downfield, you've got everybody covered and you're trying to make something happen, you can only be so mobile.
exactly. I'm not going to make excuses for anybody. The team as a whole looked bad. I'm not going to point fingers and say that
Mm-hmm.
one person on the team looked bad. Everybody looked bad. There's
Yeah.
not one person out there that looked good. And I think that anybody that says that one person out there did look good, they weren't watching the same game.
No.
And I think that's the thing is that this team. I don't know how many internal team meetings they need to have. I don't know how many, captains only meetings they need to have, or I don't know how many, meetings. But this is where they need to step up and say, look, this is what's going on. This is a team that isn't playing up to anywhere near its potential, and
Mm-mm.
they need to get it together because, quite frankly, it's embarrassing. Going out
Yeah.
on national television and getting blanked by the Saints, getting blanked by Andy Dalton, getting blanked by Dennis Allen. It's
The 27th
freaking
ranked defense. Yeah.
yeah. A 27th ranked defense. You have Alvin Kamara, who came into this game with 0 touchdowns.
3 on the day.
I was willing to lose my fantasy football game this week if Alvin Kamara did not play well
Yep.
because I wanted the Raiders to do well. Alvin
Mm-hmm.
Kamara single-handedly won my fantasy football.
Well, see, that's what
That
killed me
and
because
Tony
I had.
Pollard, but
That's what killed me. Well, I'm probably still going to pull this week out, but I had Renfro and I had Carlson. Carlson blanked, nothing,
well,
and Renfro had 1.6.
and so here's my
So
question. Here's my question. Why at the end of the game? Look, I know it's garbage time. I know that. Why not
kick the
have
field
a
goal.
little bit? Why not have a little bit of fucking
Pride.
balls and pride and just kick a field goal? You have
Just kick
three
the field
seconds
goal.
left. You have 3 seconds left. Kick the damn field goal.
Mm-hmm.
Kick the field goal. Put some points on the board, so that way you can at least say, "Well, at least we didn't get blanked."
Yeah.
At least,
123 games without getting blanked, and they got blanked yesterday.
at least we didn't put up a goose egg. I would much rather take 3 than 0 any day. It's still
Mm-hmm.
embarrassing. I would rather take 3 than 0.
Yep.
Because then at least you don't have to hear, oh, 0. It's like, like I'm sitting here going, I dread making posts because I already know like there's going to be 14-year-olds in my freaking comments. Oh, 24-0. It's like, shut up, dude.
Yeah, dude. No,
It's like,
and
come
that's
on.
one of the
And I got to
things
deal with
about
that for a week.
that's one of the things about being an older fan on social media is all the the
Yeah.
little ones running around. I mean, I've been watching the team for over like 25 years, and it's been a bear for 25 years. It's just been rough.
Yeah.
Let's see, and
Ravens,
then
Ravens
and
got Roquan Smith.
oh Jesus, and we were supposed to have been in on him too.
Yeah. Wonder what they were doing with that.
Probably sitting on their thumbs. The Hankins made a difference in the run game. Honestly, I don't know if he may have made a difference.
Mm.
Maybe. I mean, it's just a bigger body up front, really, if you think about it. Yeah.
Hankins didn't do much. Hankins didn't do much while he was here. The writing was kind of on the wall for him. I don't think that the
Mm-hmm.
coaching staff really gave him an opportunity because they came in and he was still recovering from back surgery, so he never really got a chance to really show what he could do. They really like Farrell Jr.
Mm-hmm.
They like Nichols, and so if we're talking about somebody who could really make a difference, I can tell you that Darius Philon would have made a difference.
Dude, I've been banging the table for Philon to come back for months.
Yeah, that like you want somebody who's going to make a difference in the run game, somebody who's going to make a difference in the passing game. Darius Philon. You want somebody who's going to make a difference in the run game. You want somebody who's going to make a difference in the pass game. Dominican Sue, guess what? That train has left the building. Sue
Mm-hmm.
is looking at this 2-5 Raiders team like there's no way in hell I'm going
No.
unless the Raiders give him a freaking Warren Sapp, a Warren Sapp type contract where he's completely overpaid. And realistically, the Raiders can't afford to do that right now. I think if
No.
the Raiders are looking to sell, this is what you sell. I'll call out some names. You
Yeah, call
sell
names. I
you
mean,
sell
I'm sorry. After yesterday, they deserve it. Call
yeah
names.
you sell a Cleve Farrell.
Mm-hmm.
You sell a Jonathan Abram.
Mm-hmm.
You sell a Chandler Jones. So if you're gonna sell a guy that you just got and you paid, let's not get rid of a guy. Let's not get rid of guys that have actually contributed. Let's get rid of, Chandler Jones. Has Chandler Jones been better in the run game? Yes, he has,
Yeah.
except for yesterday. But has Chandler Jones lived up to his contract? No.
No. You start trimming the fat, and I think if
Yeah,
you're gonna trade Chandler Jones, you're gonna have to eat a lot of that contract.
you are.
You're
And
gonna
I
have to
think
at
that
least
that's why
eat.
they won't do it. That's why they won't do it. But you look at guys around the league. I mean, you got a Shalik Calhoun, you got a Benson Mayo, you got all these guys that the Raiders have given up
Mm-hmm.
that are still making plays.
Yeah.
Before
Well,
he
you
went
got
out.
freaking Shelby Harris out in Denver. He's
Yeah,
still in. I think he's still in Denver. Yeah. It's just you go all out on Burns. Max can't do it alone. Yeah. But see, the thing is, I don't think Brian Burns is going to be leaving Washington or
Burns
Carolina.
isn't. Nah, they're not going to let him go.
Yeah. No,
I
and
think
I mean, that's the same
Burns
thing
and
with
Horner
Deron
are
Payne.
cornerstones. Yeah,
Yeah, you're not going to get one of those guys without giving up a couple first rounders or something like that. And honestly, I don't think Ziegler wants to do that after he gave up a first and a second last year to get Tay, who got 3 yards yesterday. And that's
yeah.
not
I
all on
mean,
him. I mean,
they
that's
had the
just
flu. I mean,
yeah.
look, we also have to, we have to address the elephant in the room. There were 12 guys that had illness. There's
Mm-hmm,
12 guys that had the flu throughout a bug hit the locker room. So
mm-hmm.
obviously that has some effect on it because you saw that Tay wasn't 100% in the game.
No.
You saw that Matt Collins wasn't 100% in the game. He wasn't where he was, and there was a few plays where he looked like he was going to throw up. And so I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if it was, like I said, I don't know if they were out partying or I don't know if it was the lingering effects of the flu, but whatever it is, they've got this week to get it out of their system in Sarasota. You're out there in the humidity of Florida, get that shit out of your system, and let's
Mm-hmm.
go out
Well,
there and put together something when they go to Jacksonville. Because if they put on an embarrassing front like that again, you thought it was bad. You thought yesterday and today was bad on social media. It's
dude,
going to get even worse. We know how Raider Nation gets down. We know how
it
Raider
will
fans get down.
implode. Implosion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
is this season salvageable? Yes, it is. I think the season is salvageable, but it has to be salvaged this weekend. It has to
It,
be.
it
It has to be salvaged today.
yeah, it needs to start today because they flew down to what was it? They flew down to Florida last night after the game, so they need to be up this morning and they need to be at least in a meeting room,
Yeah,
something. Maybe not on the field, having just put together a game. Even though they're probably not that sore, they didn't do anything yesterday,
they didn't do shit.
but they at least got to be in a meeting room going, okay, we got to figure this shit out because it's literally embarrassing at this point.
Yeah, and okay, I see here in the comments. Waller the last 2 years booked it in time to go. He booked. How
Why?
do you book? How do you book it in when you have injuries?
Yeah.
Like, okay, everybody. Guess what? Everybody was calling for Josh Jacobs to be gone because Josh Jacobs got hurt last year. Now everybody wants to extend Jacobs. This team, and look, Josh Jacobs said it best a
Waller's
couple
hurt.
years ago.
What are you talking about?
Dude, Josh Jacobs said it best. This fan base is wishy-washy.
Oh,
People
dude,
got mad about that. People got mad
one of the
about that. But guess
worst.
what? This fan base is fucking wishy-washy.
Do you see
Because
it? Do you see a dip in followers after a loss? Do you
um,
ever? Do you ever see that?
so no, I don't see a dip in followers after a while, but I think because I get a lot of people that come on and try to troll me. Because I get like whenever I post a video after a loss, I get more views.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like I'll get more views on a video after a loss, but it's always stupid ass comments, which fine, feed the algorithm. I don't give a fuck. I'm
Engagement.
gonna sit here. I don't care. Yeah, I don't care. Like here's the thing. You could troll me all you want. I'm generally not gonna read the comments. I
Hmm.
don't read the comments usually because I already know what y'all are gonna say.
Right.
I don't give a fuck. All you're doing, hey, you're still watching. You're still
Yeah,
engaging.
you're
You're
still
still
here.
paying me. You're still making me money. So I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, man. I honestly, I know this was due to a glitch on the algorithm or due to an Instagram glitch, but I woke up this morning, I was 66 down. And I was like,
Damn.
what the crap? I was like, holy crap. But then as of now, it's like creeped back up, but I'll generally see a dip of like 10 to 15 followers after a loss, and then a spike of maybe 20 after, a spike of 20 gained after a win. And it's just
Yeah,
like, it shows in the follower counts and everything just how wishy-washy everybody is. And it's like, I'm not the one calling the plays.
exactly.
I'm just here showing you what happened.
And
Like,
just because I'm a positive fan and I try to look at things on the bright side, don't get mad at me because we lost.
yeah, man.
Because I
I worked
guarantee
too
you,
hard for this
I
shit.
wouldn't I would not have called a sweep on 3-2. I would
No.
have ran it up the gut to Jacobs. I it's just it's what is wild to me is the fact that the Raiders did not cross the 50-yard line the whole game.
Well,
Now
until they
field
pulled the
position,
starters.
yeah, and field position was shit.
Hmm.
Like I mean, defense did the Raiders no favors when
Hmm.
it came to field position because they couldn't stop anything. I mean, it was like
Dude,
a
it was a
hot dog
sieve.
through a hallway. I mean, literally, it was like throwing a hot dog down a hallway. Like it was the town bike. Everybody got a ride on that. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Taysom Hill looked like an all pro. Andy Dalton
Dude.
looked like an all pro. Alvin Kamara was out there just looking like Earl Campbell, just running over fools.
Hmm.
And
Yep.
so, they couldn't stop anything. Honestly, offensively, guys couldn't catch a cold. You know,
Hmm.
Derek's accuracy was probably the worst accuracy I've seen out of Derek Carr in his 9 years.
Hmm.
Um, and so look, it's got me so bad that I'm stuttering over here. Like
So, okay,
that's when
so,
you know I'm
so,
frustrated.
so if you're stuttering, let me just ask you on this one. Where were Tay's feet in on that reception?
Yes, they were. They
That's the
were.
second time this season. Second time this
And
season.
you know how I know they were? Because they wouldn't show the other angle.
Yep. They wouldn't show the other angle, and you saw the turf pebbles pop.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm sitting there on the couch. I'm like, okay, they're gonna flip this over. We're good. We're rolling.
Could that have been a turning point in the game? Absolutely.
Yeah. It's like I said, second time this season. I think what's happening is Tay's starting to feel the effects of being on this team.
Yeah.
He's feeling he's feeling the. You don't get those kind of calls in silver and black.
Yeah.
You don't get those kind of calls. So I think that's a lot of frustration for him. I think he kind of knew what he was getting into when he came over, but I don't think he realized it was like this.
I think what we'll have to do is honestly, and I think this is something that, and the reason I say this is because we think back to 2016 with the Michael Crabtree slice of blue.
Hmm.
What Tay's going to have to start doing is Tay's going to have to start looking at, what color is a
Is the
team?
turf
Yeah, what color is the turf? If the end zone is black, then you wear
white
gold
cleats?
cleats.
Yeah,
You wear
gold.
gold because he wore white and silver cleats yesterday.
Hmm.
So when he's on the sideline, that white cleat blends in with the sideline, right? Wear gold cleats, wear black
Yeah,
cleats, wear something that stands out, or hit up my boy I am Luke Dangler and get some custom cleats so that way you've got something that shows you.
neon green,
Bro, come out in some Kobe cleats. Come out in some
right?
Kobe Grinches. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and
But
you got Big Mike Raider one. Tyron dropped the interception too, and it wasn't reviewed. That hit turf.
yeah, that
That
hit
hit
turf.
turf.
Even on the broadcast, they say that hit turf.
Hmm. Yep.
So yes, we can point to those two things. Officiating has always been horrible, especially against the Raiders. We can always point.
Oh yeah,
But at the end of the day, we fucking sucked.
dude. Yeah.
Like
Well, okay. And
sucked.
here's another question I was thinking about. Okay, so at what point, if you're Derek and you're doing this is where you're at right now. You're at 2-5. Things are in the shitter. At what point do you just go rogue on McDaniels and start calling your own plays at the line? Just,
I
you know
mean,
what? Get the play, look at it, and go, okay, you know what? That'll work. But if you get up to the line and it's not going to work, fuck it. Like,
yeah,
it's not going to work. Change it and make it work.
yeah. I
And,
would look.
and I
Hey,
saw I saw a video from Raider Honcho last night. I watched it. Great video. If you guys haven't seen it yet, go check it out. But he's talking about specifically Derek Carr because he says that he gets too much hate for being a Carr lover because he blames everybody else but Carr. So he brought up a really good point. He goes, at what point do you just step up and be the guy? Like be the man, because you're making, what is he making now, 45 million a year?
45 a year.
Making 45 a year. You go up there, that play's not going to work. You lay them out on the field. You flop those things out and you just let it loose. Because what do you have to lose at this point?
Yeah.
You know?
I look at it like this. We know who his number one target is. We know who he wants to go to.
Oh, yeah.
That's when you need to start getting, why is Renfro not involved? Is it Renfro's, is it his comfortability in the offense? Is it that he's now the third read? Is it, what is it? Because I want to see Renfro get more involved.
Yeah, because as soon as McDaniels walked in the building, I'm like, dude, there's his Edelman. I'm like, he's got his Edelman. He's got his Gronk. I'm not saying that Waller is Gronk. Gronk is one of those prototypical freaks. You can't compare the two. But you've got that.
Waller's more Hernandez. I would say that Foster's more Gronk style because he can block a lot better. But.
Yeah, he's a lot better blocker. But you've got your two tight ends. You've got your pass catcher and you've got your blocker. You've got everything you need on that offense, save maybe the right side of the line.
Yeah.
Fix it. I'm getting all freaking hot under my sweatshirt here, man. Fix it.
It's simple enough to say, and I think the frustration is that we saw this team lose Henry Ruggs, lose Damon Arnett, lose John Gruden, lose 5 games straight, win 4 games straight with Rich Bisaccia, and guys rallied around him.
Yep.
You don't see that. You don't see that, like, guys getting excited for Josh. And nobody gets excited, like, let's win this for Josh. Nobody wants to win it for fucking Josh. But at the end of the day, win it for your fucking subs.
Yeah, win it for you. Win it for the team.
Win it for these people that are paying thousands of dollars. How many Raider fans were out there in New Orleans this weekend? I can
call out at least 4 or 5 guys that I follow here on IG that I saw their lives. They were on the flight. They were on Bourbon Street the night before. They were partying all night and then showed up and got skunked.
Did they see the Raiders out there on Bourbon Street?
What's up?
Did they see the Raiders out there on Bourbon Street?
There was a lot of silver and black out there. I can neither confirm nor deny. But you've got people who are shelling out, like you said, thousands of dollars to travel, stay, party, and watch the game. And you go out and shit the bed in the worst way possible. I just don't. Yeah, how do we get beat by 2 players? That's a really good question. If you got
I'll tell you what. If somebody tells me, if somebody publicly goes out there and says that they're going to whoop my ass, I'm going to make damn sure I embarrass them.
And that's what I said. That's exactly what I said.
I'm going to tell you right now, if you dream about whooping my ass, you better wake up and apologize to me. Because I'm going to make you regret that shit.
Bring your lunchbox.
That fool basically said, we're going to whoop their ass. And they said, oh, you're going to whoop our ass. Let them whoop our ass. Like,
yeah.
It's just
he did it.
No pride in your shit.
No.
We're gonna make Dennis Allen happy. Man, fuck that.
Who wants to make Dennis Allen happy? That's what I said on my last. Let me clear my throat. I'm like, the last thing I said, that defense is going to come out because this guy publicly just humiliated you guys, and now you're going to come out. You're going to play your ass off. What did they do? They left their asses in Vegas.
Yep. And you know what's going to happen? We're going to beat the shit out of the Jaguars. We're going to take it out on them. And then everybody's still going to be like, remember that time you guys jumped by the Saints? Like,
it's like when we flashed out on the Texans. They go, well, it was the Texans. Okay, fine. That's still 38 points. You're too shy of a 40 burger, man. Like,
bring Iggy out. Bring Iggy out. Bring Iggy out. Bring Iggy out. Iggy, you better be in Jacksonville. I want to see you in Jacksonville, in the pool, in the end zone, shaking that thing.
Hey, man, you got to be there. Yeah.
Hey, just put that flotation device out there.
Well, it's like you said, if you're not going to win it for the coach, win it for the people who have been supporting you for as long as they've been around. It's
Yeah.
such a maddening system.
Win it for these people that get in fights on the daily and get in arguments with people in their comments and getting, that are still out there rocking gear, still buying gear. I saw somebody said, I just dropped $250 on a jacket. Yeah, because we don't hide when things get bad. Raider Nation ain't gonna hide. I'm gonna
No,
still be out here in all black everything every day. We could be
bro,
0-17 and
I
I'm
don't
still
buy
all black.
anything unless it's silver and black. I went
Yeah.
to my girl shops at American Eagle, right? And I was like, oh, that's kind of a cool sweatshirt. Boom, silver and black. Like that was the only
Exactly.
reason I bought it, and it was half off. But still, like I own so much black and silver and everything like that. My closet looks like it's constantly going to a funeral. Like
Yeah.
it's
Look, I even got Mickey in silver. So I'm
yeah.
like,
See, exactly the
come
problem with
on,
this
man.
team. The identity of this team is soft, and McDaniels is the one to blame for it. He's aloof and nonchalant. I want to see. You know what I miss seeing? I miss seeing the red-faced John Gruden hucking a challenge flag to midfield from the
Yeah.
20-yard line. Like
Yeah.
I need passion on that sideline.
Get angry.
Yeah,
Get angry.
you can't. Football is not a soft game. You can't
It's
play it
not.
quiet and reserved.
It's not. And you have to, whatever the leaders on your team, however they are, you have to counter that. So
Mm-hmm.
we know that Derek and Max are vocal leaders. We know that Derek and Max are the rah guys, the guys that are going to get after it. Tay's more of like the way I picture Tay's kind of more of like that. Hey, come on, man, we got to get up in here. We got to
Yeah.
do this. Like he's going to be the one that's going to like talk to you and kind of like try to smooth things out. But you need to have all these guys kind of come together and be like, switch it up.
Yep.
I want to see Tay get in somebody's face. I want to see
Oh.
Derek get in somebody's face. I want to see Derek call some people out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but here's the other thing. The league as a whole is weird as hell. You
Mm-hmm.
got Tom Brady, who's 3-5. You've got Aaron
Dude,
Rodgers, who's 3-5. You've got Russell Wilson, who's 3-5. You know,
these
you
elite quarterbacks.
you've got the Chargers, who, this elite Justin Herbert's not doing what everybody thought he was going to do this year. And granted,
Mm-hmm.
he's got gummy bear ribs, but he's still not doing whatever people thought he was going to do. Yeah, I saw. Raider Room says Perryman was way too friendly yesterday with Saints players, especially Kamara. Yeah,
You
that's
walk,
one thing I saw. Yeah,
walk
I saw
off.
Card. I saw Card joking with Davenport and Jordan, and that those things kind of stand out to me. Like I get it. Like these guys are friends off the field. Within those 60 minutes, you should be hating them. You should be
Oh
hating
yeah.
everybody.
Well, there was a close up on one of the review calls. Tay and Carr are standing there talking. I think like you were saying, it was Davenport and somebody else. They're standing
Yeah,
there chopping it up. I'm like, no, dude, you get in that guy's face. Like get him out of there. Like
yeah.
get Bill Romanowski out there on the sidelines. God dang.
Romanowski would probably get suspended his first week.
He'd punch somebody in the face. Like not even a joke about him punching somebody in the face. He would just get out there and be so pissed off he would
He
hit
would
somebody.
punch. He would punch Josh McDaniels on the first stupid play call. Like, what the fuck is that? We better have some better fucking execution.
He'd just rip his mic. He'd just rip his headset off, knock him out, throw it on, and call the
Seriously.
game. Carr still tries to be nice to these D linemen during the games. Dude needs to stop that shit. I
I think,
mean,
but sometimes it's funny. If you watch like when he was talking to Shelby Harris that one time, he's
yeah,
like, "Hey Shelby,
Mister.
who's your favorite quarterback?" Like that shit's funny to me. It's even funnier when we're winning.
Yeah.
Like you're winning and you're buddy, hey, I'm good with it. But
Mm-hmm.
when we're losing and and things are happening, there's a bigger microscope on it because we're like, look, we're fucking losing, and you're out here fraternizing with the enemy. Like I don't want to see Mark Davis ain't gonna sell the team.
He ain't got. Dude, it will not be
Come
the
on,
Raiders unless a Davis is owning the team. I'm sorry,
Mark,
it's not
Mark
going to
Davis.
happen.
Mark is not going to sell the team. Anybody that says Mark can sell the team, they can go to Alameda and yell at an empty building. Okay, because like Mark is not going to sell the team. If Mark sells the team, he's going to sell a minority stake to Magic Johnson. I'm good with that.
Mhm.
And if Magic wants to put some money in and start giving guys some money and giving guys some signing bonuses to come, I'm with it.
Yeah.
I want to see
I
Derek
mean,
run when the pocket collapses. I do too.
I do
But
too.
one thing I did see is that when Derek did start to run, like Derek would run, we talked about this. Derek runs, right's coming down, left's coming down. Derek runs up, boom, gets hit.
Smacked.
And once we see the all 22, it's going to be a lot more evident. They had 7 DBs back there.
Mm-hmm.
They were rushing 4.
Yeah.
So that's a testament to how bad the offensive line played yesterday. They rushed 4. There were
4. Yeah,
7
not even
DBs,
an
which means a lot. Those
somebody.
4 sacks were mostly coverage sacks.
Yeah. That's exactly it. You could see it as you're watching him go through his progressions. He's like, you can see his eyes getting wider, like, oh shit, nothing's open.
Yeah.
Like, he's just, I don't think he's like,
Credit to
everyone
Foster for being the dump off guy.
What's that?
Credit to Foster for being there in a couple situations to be the
Sure.
dump off guy. I mean, he kind of played that Kelsey role, but there's just nothing there. They need,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what I mean. Maybe that's what they need to practice. Is they need to practice when the pocket collapses what to do.
Mm-hmm. Full speed. Don't do this walkthrough. What do you do? No, rush Max and Jones full speed. Don't hit him, obviously, but rush him full speed and get him uncomfortable.
Yeah. We're not going to win with Mark Davis as our owner, Carr QB, and McDaniels as our HC. I disagree.
Well, that's funny because we made the playoffs last season with Davis as the owner and Carr at QB. So
yeah,
the common denominator I see is McDaniels, but that's just me.
That's I digest, as Lorenzo Neal would say. I
digest.
digest.
Yeah, I mean,
look, we can sit here and go, oh, Mark needs to sell the team. Mark's not going to sell the team.
No.
Mark just brought this franchise to Vegas, built a new stadium,
huge
tripled its worth.
Yeah.
Mark's
It's
not. Mark has the championship taste. Mark has the championship taste in his mouth. He just won a championship with the Aces. Yeah, Tony, we already saw that. We've been talking
thanks,
about that
Tony.
for a minute. Appreciate you though. At the end of the day, it's McDaniel's coaching and horrible play calling. Yeah, I mean, look, it's bad. It's bad. It's bad. It's bad. It's bad. And it needs to get better. Thank you, Raider Room.
Yeah.
Thank you for just
owner.
echoing my point. I like Mark, and the veterans like Mark, and the former players like Mark. Don't ask me how I know. I know a couple of guys, but the
I was gonna say we've
players
talked and you've
like
told
Mark.
me stories. Like he looks out for his dudes.
Mark, Mark is following in his father's footsteps, and he takes care of his guys. He takes care of his guys that are with the team. He takes care of his guys that are no longer with the team. When they say once a Raider, always a Raider. As long as you don't embarrass the franchise, then you're always welcome as a Raider. And so, we could talk about that.
Yeah, if we're in Oakland, we don't extend Renfro, Crosby, Waller. Yeah, there's no money.
If
there's
John
no
Gruden
money.
was head coach, we don't extend Renfro, Crosby, Waller.
Mm-hmm.
John Gruden would have found a way to get rid of all of them.
Yeah. Well,
and would have extended Bruce Irvin.
You get Raiders worldwide. Good point. Raiders get one bad blowout game a year. We bounce them back. See,
Dude, we always have that one game.
A little bit of positivity.
Hey, would you rather? Now, and I'm asking this to you and to the chat. Would you rather get blown out by the Saints or get blown out by the Chiefs?
Saints. I'd rather take the Saints.
If you have to pick one, would you rather get blown out by the Saints or get blown out by the Chiefs? The Saints, you have a non-divisional game. It's not going to take as much of a toll on the schedule. It's not going to take that much of a toll on your standings. If you get blown out by the Chiefs, you have to deal with Chiefs fans. Especially if it happens at Arrowhead. Yeah, you got to deal with Broncos fans. You got to deal with the Broncos fans. You got to deal with everything else. You know how annoying Chiefs fans are. If anybody follows my guy, the Real Cool Dad, he talks a lot of trash about the Raiders. Do you want to deal with that, or would you rather just be freaking done, lose to the Saints, and say, okay, we got our ass kicked because we got to see the Chiefs again.
I know. And I think that's part of the reason people are so fired up over this loss is because you came within 1 point of beating the Chiefs. 1 point, you go on your bye, you come out, you blow out Houston, and then you go and you put up nothing. So where's
How much
that?
did they score?
What's that?
How much did the Raiders score yesterday? Nothing.
Uh,
Nothing.
that dude. Yeah, you go 29-30 with the Saints or with the Chiefs rather, and then you can't put up a field goal on New Orleans. You don't cross the 50 until 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
No, I agree with you, Jay Navarro, 0212. We shouldn't have gotten blown up by Dennis Allen. We shouldn't.
No, we shouldn't have. There's absolutely no
And
reason.
you guys want to know something crazy? Is the last two Raider blowouts have come at the hands of Dennis Allen. 2014, 52-0 against the Rams. 2022,
24.
24-0 against the Saints. You say I scored as much as
Yeah.
the Raiders. Hey, I've scored as much as the Raiders in the past year. Like, I have more points. I have more points this year than the Raiders did yesterday.
Dude. No, and then sitting a 40 mil per year player is dumb. Play your best guys. Yeah, you got to put your best guys out there.
Thank you.
You got to put your best guys out there.
Hey, Derek, you didn't get past the 50, and I feel like you're not going to do it for the rest of the season. So we're going to go ahead and start Sidham, who really was completely inaccurate with many of his passes and got lucky on a couple throws.
Yeah.
Like, Sidham was like underthrow, overthrow, underthrow, overthrow. Like, you want that all game? Hey, that's like people calling for Peterman to start.
Yeah.
Like,
Peter, go.
Come on.
So, Navarro, our 2 wins because of Jacobs. Without him, we'd have 0. When is Carr going to put this team on his back, be a leader, and ball out like he did in 16? I would say he did that last year.
I would say that he did that last year. I'd say that he did that in 2020. I would say that he did that in 2019 too. Like, I think that the reason why the Raiders have success is one, because they set up the run game. 2, because the run game sets up the passing game. I think that's the great thing with football is it's the ultimate team sport. So you have to have a collaborative effort. You can't generally go out there and pass 50 times and not run and expect things to be hunky-dory, because teams are going to key on that. You can't also run it every single down and expect guys to be able to see. Hold on, I got thrown off because this one right here, Darren Waller relapse or what?
Okay.
Shit like that pisses me off, man. That's clown shit.
I'm sick of hearing.
Yeah, that's clown shit. Like, we can joke about people doing stupid shit, but when we talk about addiction and shit like that, that's clown shit.
Yeah, man.
Fuck out of here.
Yeah, we don't. That's bigger than football. I'm sorry. That's bigger than football. That's just kind of off limits.
Yeah.
Do we trade the farm and work towards a rebuild? What pieces can we add that would add stability? I think you've got pieces. Like, you've got pieces. I just don't understand why it's not all coming together. I think scheme might have something to do with it. You heard Tay say, he goes, McDaniel's playbook is hard. He goes, it's a tough one. So if you've got the arguably number 1 receiver in football up until this past saying that it's a hard playbook, that shit is tough.
Yeah. Are the Raiders in a rebuild? No. Are the Raiders
in a retool?
In a retool, yeah. I think that obviously they wouldn't. You don't do a rebuild by spending millions and millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars on the offense. You're not in a rebuild at that point.
No.
When you talk about a rebuild, you are having a fire sale. And
you're talking Carolina.
Yeah, like, honestly, Seattle was in a rebuild, but Geno Smith is just playing better than what anybody expected. When we talk about a rebuild, you've got a team that's a few pieces away.
Mm-hmm.
You fix the right side of the line, you fix the middle of the defensive line, you shore up that secondary a little bit. That's where you talk about retooling and getting better. This is a team that's a few pieces away. So I wouldn't say that this is a rebuild. You need to retool a little bit. You need to regroup. You need to come together and fix it. But I definitely wouldn't say that this is a rebuild at all. Trading Jacobs for a premier tackle or guard, but then who you're left with? You're left with Zamir White, who
Yeah, what's the
I would
point?
like to see. Yeah, I'd like to see more of Zamir, but I don't want to see more of Zamir at the sake of losing Josh.
Yeah, you see, Davis isn't going anywhere. McDaniels isn't going anywhere. The thing is, we need to move past that. We need to figure out what needs to change. Personnel wise, culture wise. I mean, obviously the culture needs to change. They've been losing
Mm-hmm.
for how many years? But
20
painful amount of years. Do we think we focus on defense in the draft? I think they should.
defense and offensive line, just like they did last year.
Hmm. Yeah, we've got skill players. If they say they extend Jacobs, you've got Zamir White behind him. Um, you know,
What would be a price tag that you would be comfortable extending Jacobs at?
oh, that's tough. Uh,
Knowing that you have to spend money on defense, knowing that. So look, you've got Nate Hobbs, whose contract's not going to be up for a couple of years, so you got a little time on that. You got Trayvon Merrick, whose contract's not going to be up for a couple of years. You got time on that. You've got Max, who just got paid. You got Denzel Perryman, who needs an extension. Um, you know, so where do we look at Josh? I'm thinking my thought is between that 8 and 12 mark.
I was literally
Um,
near thinking 10.
yeah, and putting, trying to put more of that money up front in a
Hmm.
signing bonus or trying to front load it. That way you have the ability to, kind of put it, backload it on for other contracts. But that I think that that's where if you're looking at Josh, but then, you're looking at, like I said, almost a $200 million offense,
Hmm.
and a lot of things need to change at that point.
Yeah. No, and that's definitely true. I was sitting here thinking, I'm like, oh, well, I don't even really know where the running back market is at this point, but I'm thinking 10 is a good number. I mean, it's not, you're not shooting low, you're not overselling, so I think but the thing is, what's going to happen though? He's going to come up on free agency. Some team's going to get excited out there and they're going to back up the Brinks truck, I think.
Yeah,
Somebody's going to pick him up.
somebody will pick him up, and I know that the Patriot way is, not paying running backs. Um, but when you've got a guy like Josh, and here's my only concern with running backs is it seems like when running backs get paid, that's when everything goes downhill. You look at Melvin Gordon, you look at Gurley, you look at Zeke, you look at Le'Veon, all
Hmm.
these guys, aside from Derrick Henry, who is a freaking anomaly.
Ageless, dude.
You, yeah, you see a decline, and that's the only thing that I'm concerned about. I don't think that Josh is just running because he wants the money. I think Josh wants to be a
Wants to
Raider.
win.
Josh wants to win. But that is something that is obviously on the back of your mind when you look at that. I think that that's something that always stands out too because people are always scared of what happens when you get a contract. Raider Room says you have Raiders or running backs are the easiest to replace to draft because you have a featured back who's playing at a top five level. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if Josh wasn't playing at a top five level, I think it would be easy to say, oh, we let Josh go at the end of the season. We get a third round compensatory pick for him, and we move on from there.
Hmm.
But, Josh is playing at a top five level. If Josh can sustain that, Josh deserves all the money.
Yeah,
Josh deserves to get paid. I would love to see Josh Jacobs be a Raider for a long time.
I have no problem
Especially if Josh
with him.
can be
Like,
yeah, he's the best running back that the Raiders have had since Marcus Allen.
no, Waller's not living up to his contract extension because he's been freaking injured and he can't speed that along. There's literally nothing he can do to speed recovery. It's these same comments, man. Oh my god.
Yeah. Hey, did you know that Waller's hurt?
What?
Did you? Yeah, Waller's injured. He's had a pulled hamstring. He's been injured, and so I think that that's one of the reasons why he's not being able to play.
I
Injured?
thought
Yeah,
it
he's
was.
injured.
I thought it was
If
because
he if he wasn't injured, he'd be out there on the fucking field.
I thought it was he got. I thought it was because he got paid. To be honest with you, I thought he was just like, "Oh, I'm paid. I don't need to do this anymore."
Yeah, yeah. Now, so Darren Waller doesn't love football now. Apparently,
Yeah.
that's what it's going to come to. Apparently, he doesn't love football.
Surprise trade for us tomorrow. I mean, surfing Twitter a little bit. I hear that we're in for a splash, but I'm not. That's always smoke screens.
Splash, like a big splash, or like a chicken McNugget into the
I'm
barbecue sauce
I'm
splash.
thinking like honey mustard, like I don't think it's gonna. I don't think it's gonna be a monster like Broadway trade. It's not gonna be some huge backbreaker that's gonna fix everything. If they went out and got Conklin, I'd be happy. I would take Conklin.
I'd be happy.
Yeah, I mean, if they can find somebody to
I'd be
kind
happy with
of
Conklin. I'd be happy with Isaiah Wynn.
yeah, Isaiah
Okay,
Wynn.
Raider Room, stop wearing your Marcus Allen jersey.
I love Marcus, but yeah, just stop.
Like I like I tell Cody. So, a funny story with Cody is whenever his wife gets a jersey, that player gets traded.
Oh,
So he got, I think he had gotten his wife a Khalil Mack jersey. She got traded. He got his wife a Amari Cooper jersey. She got traded. So my joke before was like, "Hey, get your wife a Bruce Irvin jersey." This was a couple years ago. I was like, get your wife a Josh McDaniels jersey, and we'll see if that holds up. But yeah, stop wearing the Marcus jersey.
please. See Perryman gone after the season.
I could see it. You know, does he play himself into a larger contract that the Raiders don't want to pay for? Maybe, but I mean, it's
Injuries.
if you, yeah, I mean, remember we don't have a first round pick, so you don't find a stud linebacker out there to replace him.
I think
Uh,
we have a first rounder this year.
oh, we do have a first rounder.
Yeah,
That's right.
last year was the 1 and 2.
Yeah, that's right. So we
So
do have a first
we've
round.
actually
So
got a pretty full list of picks this year.
yeah,
There's a lot of late round picks, and depending on who leaves
and
in
realistically,
free
yeah, and realistically, the Raiders have. I mean, they've got some picks to play around with. They've got some things that they can. If you want to make a splash, look, if you want to make a splash, you're gonna have to trade one of your first round. You're gonna have to trade a first round pick.
yeah, you don't get
If you want to make a splash.
nothing. Yeah, I think Ziegler wants more picks for the draft. Someone's getting traded. Yeah, I think he wants more picks too. He was unhappy with giving up the 1 and 2 for Tay last season, but he did it.
Yeah,
You know, um, I think Ziegler knows though he's more savvy I think than people give him credit for. I think
yeah,
he knows how to work the system because you saw what he did in New England. He retooled that offense and everything in a season. So it'll be interesting to see how he does his draft work this year.
yeah. I think so too. Um, I think that I don't want to start talking about the draft yet.
No,
I don't because when you talk about the draft, that's conceding the season. Basically, you're basically saying, "Hey, okay, it's draft time. Like, let's just." And I'm not gonna be the one to no cornerback in round one.
I'm not taking any
No,
more corners in round one.
and don't take any cornerbacks from Oklahoma or from Ohio State.
Ohio State,
No,
no,
never again, never again.
no. We're not getting number one. Knock that off. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, we're not. Don't concede on the season yet.
No.
Like, let's win this game in Jacksonville. Let's beat these Jaguars. Like, seriously. Did
We
we
finally,
finally and honestly get revenge on the Jaguars for the last game in Oakland where we should have won, where Derek
that should
slid
be
in bounds.
yeah, that should be the topic. That inbound slide to seal the game in Oakland, and then he's out. He's out.
Yeah.
No, and I think you're right. Staying on the East Coast, going down to Florida, they're going to sweat this flu or whatever it is out of their system. It's going to be smelling like bourbon in the hotel room for a while because they're sweating it out from New Orleans. But get it out of their system and just go down there, handle business against Taylor Lawrence, and move on. Just one game at a time, 1-0 every week. But
Yeah,
I think that's past for this for the fan base. I think they're hung up on wanting wholesale change, and that's just not going to happen this fast.
exactly. I see Raider Cody join. Welcome here, Cody.
Cody,
Yeah, I mean, look, the good
dude, it's
um
documented. They were on
bro,
the injury report with the flu for 3 days.
this guy definitely has some conspiracy theories. I guarantee you. Like he's got a whole conspiracy theory chest. Bullcrap game. I agree, Cody. Except
No, Cody,
I'm gonna say what you want to say. Is a fucking
oh,
bullshit, fucked up piece of shit, fucking stupid ass game.
because this is on
That's what it
brand for
was.
Finney. This is on brand. Let him have it.
Yeah,
No, but
fuck these motherfuckers.
well, Cody, the whole first hour was us talking about how crappy it was. Like it's been so bad. Everyone's favorite player is always the backup until the backup is in and messes up worse than the starter.
Boom.
Dude, if I could just frame that up on the wall.
That's almost as good as some of Kanye's tweets. Not recent ones. Not recent. Don't cancel me. Don't cancel me,
This guy,
nobody.
you're begging for a cancel, bro. Like it's
Oh, fuck them. They can't cancel me. I'm Kenny fucking King. Cancel me, man. No, fuck you.
oh man,
They pulling up old tweets from like 2012. What was it?
yeah,
Mr. Trubisky, I like titties.
yeah. That's an all-time too. No, see, New Orleans is a tough place to play. That was, in my opinion, the hardest one to win in 5-game stand. We had hope to stack wins. I mean, yeah, New
I don't
Orleans is
think
an environment, but the team's not.
I don't think even Jamarcus Russell put up a donut. I don't think Jamarcus Russell put down a donut.
I was just gonna say, I don't think he put down a donut. There's a reason his Instagram handle is the biggest quarterback.
Oh, he actually has an Instagram?
He's got an Instagram now. I'll send it to you.
I might be blocked. Um,
Probably.
Probably. You know, I got blocked by AJ McCarron.
Did you really?
Yeah, for welcoming him and his beautiful wife to the Raiders. He blocked me.
That might have done it.
Marshall Newhouse blocked me, and it was the first block of his career.
You know what it was? He saw the shaved eyebrow and went, "Oh shit!" and hit that block button real quick.
He's like, this guy is crazy. Gang member.
Bro, after that game, I gotta hear this BS for a week until we play again. No, dude, and that's just it. We've got to live with it for the next week for a week, and I walked by that fat cow Trent Brown.
That's why we're on here talking, because we talk through our pain. Because
Yep.
I already feel better.
I do too.
I
Feeling
talked a
better.
little trash. I got angry. You know,
We both let it out a little bit. Musgrave wasn't blocked after his comments on his wife during the college championship game.
Musgrave. You mean Musburger?
Musburger.
Musburger.
Is there one or two players that have the power to light a fire under all others to make things better?
Yeah. I think that what needs to happen is when they get so right now, somebody needs to go into that locker room and sage everything, sage everybody's jerseys, sage everybody's pads. I
They
think
got
I
hexed.
think
Hexed.
I think they got hexed. I think some of that New Orleans voodoo got put on them, and that's what caused it. Okay, I think that's the first thing. They got some New Orleans voodoo. Get the voodoo out of there first
You
and
know what?
foremost.
You know what, Hemi?
Then burn some Palo Santo.
You know what, Hemi Rilla? We got off to a rocky start, but you know what? Well, you can stick around. Sage doesn't work.
Yes, it does.
Okay, so here's a question.
You shut your mouth.
Here's a question. I saw a tweet from Charles Woodson yesterday. It just said Raiders with the facepalm emoji. We've all seen it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Can he get into that locker room and light these guys up?
Yep.
Dude,
Tim Brown. Tim Brown said something.
Tim Brown.
Right.
Bring all those dudes. Bring them all. Something that happened. Looked like Matt McGloin was playing Sunday.
Which Matt McGloin?
Yeah, what makes me more mad is Kamara, right? Yeah, we proved him
Yeah,
right. The thing is, he wasn't right. We made him right.
we laid down and let him just whoop our ass.
Yeah.
Come on, man. My cat puts up a bigger fight when I try to cut her toenails.
You cut your cat's toenails?
I don't.
I don't have the stones for that, man. He's a demon.
I got one that I can. I get the other one I can't. She's as big as me, and like, yeah, no, she's no.
Well, that's the thing, Nick. I think that's why it needs to happen. You know, you need to get these guys in there that have lived it. You know, Charles has a ring. Brown has a ring. You know, get these guys in there and light them.
Brown doesn't have a ring.
Brown doesn't have a ring? Oh, I thought he.
He's
Oh,
got a Hall of Fame ring.
that's
Brown's
right.
got a Hall of Fame ring.
That's
You
right.
know who they can get in? You know who they can get in there? I know a guy that's got two rings. They can go. They can get in there. One,
Yeah.
two rings for the Raiders.
Yeah.
You want somebody to come talk to you? I know
Yeah. Go.
somebody.
Tell them light them up. They need
I
to
know
hear.
somebody. They don't want to hear what he has to say though.
Oh, I think
He's
they
like
need to.
me. He's like me. He don't sugarcoat shit. Is McDaniels the guy? I don't know.
I mean, I
I don't
can't tell you yes
look.
or no.
I don't know. Last week he was the guy. His play calling was great. This week his play calling was poop. If his play calling is great against the Jaguars, I'll probably say I like him again. But if he does anything like he did yesterday, I will say that he is poop.
See, the thing is,
I wouldn't even say he's shit. He's poop.
I just want to address this really quick. We can't bring Romanowski in there because there will be broken noses everywhere,
Broken eye sockets,
eye sockets, and
orbital bones,
everything.
orbital bones fractured.
No, see, I don't think it's
40 on that.
oblivious fans that think we have a chance. It's just it's fans that know what this team's capable of.
Kenny's not on Wi-Fi. Kenny's actually on 5GE, 4 bar, straight up, Gonzo to Bonzo.
Oh, there's the problem.
Gonzo got that Android probably.
Well,
Because my Wi-Fi is perfect right now.
yeah, same. So, as much as I hate to, I probably need to kind of wrap this one down.
Yeah.
I have to get back to my regular job. So, as much as I would love for this to be my full-time job, it doesn't pay the bills yet. So, that's why I need all you guys out there. I need you all to come, blow my stuff up. You know, I want to make this a full-time job for you guys, but I can't. So, I need help.
Follow my guy. Follow me.
Yeah, follow Kenny. Get in there. Follow his podcast. Everything, man. He's got great shit.
Yeah. This will also be reposted. I'm gonna put it up on the YouTube. I'm gonna put it on the pod so you can find it at the podcast Real Talk. You will be able to cross post it. We'll put it on Instagram here.
Yep.
You'll be able to find it wherever you want to look.
That's right. Anywhere you want to be. All right, guys.
All right, guys.
With that being said, I'm going to bounce out. You guys have a good one, and we'll catch up next Monday.
Boom.